you go for an interview, and I'm saying 10% here and 90%, like 10% questions you may not find on the internet, and 90% you would. In reality, this is actually 99 and 1%. Regardless of what, like, unless you're going to OpenAI or you're going to like a very in-depth research lab in a company like Google X, not Google X, but some very secretive job in Google or SpaceX, where it's very niche. They need the best talent, not just in the city or a country, like they need the best talent in the world. There, maybe the questions are not known, but for every other interview, all questions are available on the internet. Sometimes you even know the exact questions that are going to be asked. So you have to spend time on the internet. You can find all the questions that will come in an interview. But even with that, a lot of people come unprepared. Like they come to the interview without doing enough research on the company website, doing enough research about the questions that are potentially going to be asked. Now, your most common interview type questions are three or four categories. Your technical, which is specific to your skills or the role that you do or something about your domain. Behavioral, a walkthrough would be like if you apply for a data analyst kind of a role where so, someone saying something. No, okay, cool, yeah. So maybe they've given you an exercise for home where you have to analyze a data set and then you're presenting it, and then like point number 2 and 4 is like behavioral and something about your experience is what 50-60%, if not 80% of your interview is going to be about. Now, what are sort of the three most common interview questions? Like this was not in trivia because I couldn't really put A, B, or C in this one, but in most interviews, regardless of what stage of the interview you're on, tell me a bit about yourself is the most common thing you'll get asked in every single interview round that you do. And most people give very bad answers for this question. The moment you ask about, the moment you ask somebody, or why are you looking for a change? That's another one. I'll cover that one as well. The other one, like when people say, "Tell me a little bit about yourself," they're not really expecting you to start that I graduated in 2006. My first company was there, second company was there, third company was this. Now I work here. They're not interested in their history. They've already seen your resume. They've already seen your LinkedIn profile. They know a lot of that information already. What you would usually do is talk about the place where you work right now, talk about something interesting you're doing in your current role, and say that you have, say, maybe 5 or 10 years of experience in the industry. And if you have worked at some companies which are very sought after or which are very popular, just throw in some keywords and names in there. You don't have to talk for 3-4 minutes when somebody says, "Tell me a little bit about yourself." Now, the question that Dadaram has there is like, why are you looking for a change? If you're already working somewhere and you get asked this question of why you're looking for a change, rather than saying that your salary is not good or you don't like the work culture, usually try and spin this around. So try and say that I was looking for some roles. I want to grow in my career, and say you got a role at TCS or you got a role at Wipro where you're interviewing. Amongst all the roles that you found in the market, this was a good fit for your skills, and the salary seems competitive in the market. So try and talk about the company who is it, like company that is interviewing you, as opposed to the company that you want to leave. Because when you start talking about the company you want to leave, directly or indirectly, you will talk about either the work culture or the work pressure or things that you don't like about it. And that's not the kind of things that, like, they are true why you want to leave them, or maybe the compensation is not great, but you can easily spin it around and talk about the company that you're interviewing at and talk good things about them or talk about how the role is suitable. Yeah. Similar to what Sushant is saying, like, don't badmouth, like, you want to leave the company anyways. Talking ill about them is not going to serve you. Like, it's not going to help with your interview chances. That's the main takeaway from this. You can still talk about it, it's up to you, but it doesn't help your interview in any way. And like, I had one candidate when we asked him, he was saying that I'm looking for jobs because I was told that I'm very harsh with my direct reports. That people have complained a lot about me. Now he was a star candidate through the entire interview process. Towards the end, when he said this, that was a very big no for all of us. And like it was a straight off no, because he ended up telling, and there may have been different reasons. Like he may have been a horrible manager because he had a lot of pressure from his manager, so he had to pass it on to his team. but the way he answered it was not really an ideal thing to do during the interview. Shakir, like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Um, if you're already working in a company or even when you're applying for an interview, what I recommend people tell them is like titles are great. Like if I'm say a developer right now, I want to be a lead developer in 5 years. I want to be an engineering manager. Saying a title is good, but if you're already through the interview process and you like the company, what you tell them is like what I tell a lot of people, something along the lines of that. As long as I have a competitive salary, 5 years from now, and I'm given challenging work, I don't care so much about title. So if you're looking for an answer of what position or what designation I want to be, I can come up with some titles, but that's not really what I'm looking for. What I want to see in the role is that I have growth opportunities. I have not just like growth opportunities in terms of work that I'll get, but I also want to be compensated well for it. That's how you want to shape the answer about that. Um, we yeah, speak about opportunities to learn new skills. Uh, Vik, can you come off mute and explain what you're asking? I couldn't follow what you were saying.
No, I was checking if we can explain about the opportunities that the new role offers for us to learn the skills.
Not, I wouldn't advise that because say if the interview is interviewing three people, the other two already have the skill, you don't have that skill, then that answer will work against you because then they have to, after hiring you, they have to spend a few weeks training you for that skill. And
Understood.
yeah, so that's why, like, in some cases, that may still be true. Like, if you're a fresh grad from university, you may not have all the skills. That is possible. But if that's the answer you give, it's not a great answer that the interviewer wants to hear, even if it may be true. Yeah.
Thank you.
So how is Bharat's answer for this? Bharat, what are you saying? I say I've learned what was there for me. Now I'm looking for more challenges. Um, that answer is okay, Bharat, but it doesn't tell me a lot. Like if I ask you a question like that, where do you see yourself in 5 years, or why do you want to leave? Why are you looking for a change? Um, that's a very close question. Like it doesn't lead to a lot of things. But if you were to say, like if you were to flip it around in a way that I'm looking for this, like rather than why you want to live, if you wanted to flip that, you're looking for something, you're looking to learn this, or you're looking to work in this industry, or you're trying to move out of comfort zone is not a great answer again because um, comfort zone, like why, like don't try to how do I say this? Like the moment you say comfort zone, what you're also trying to say is that there's nothing challenging for me to do in my current role. I have a very basic, like a job where the role is very well defined. I come in, I do my job, I go home. It may be true, it's true for 60-70% of the jobs out there, but it doesn't come across as a good answer. And the reason why I'm saying talk about the interviewer or the company is because that way you can move the discussion there. You can get more pointers on what you want to ask or what you want to prepare for next round. Even though the question says why do you want to leave your current role, where do you see yourself in 5 years, you still want to try and move it to a place where you can have more discussion on that topic. Maybe the interviewer will start telling you about what projects they are working or what technology. Yeah, sorry, Varad. Varad, you can even come off mute and answer that. That's fine. What you meant was I've worked hard and learned and understood all the SOPs. Yeah, it's the only you can say that Varad, but it's the main point I'm trying to convey. It's still a very close-ended answer. It doesn't invoke any conversation from the interviewer. Like rather than saying open to more challenges, if you say something about the role or the company where you're interviewing, it shows that you're prepared well for the interview. That's the main thing that comes across. It shows that you're prepared well, and you also pick on some things that they might want to hear in other rounds. That's what I'm saying.